So now let's talk about armor, because
Mhm.
now, you've talked about problems at country level and their complexities emerging at regional level, right? So what chance for armor in this? And how is armor going to play out?
So it's a difficult question, but I will attempt.
Sorry.
So Amma, I mean, for me and to many of the people that I speak to and interact, partners, colleagues on the African continent, I think the general consensus is that Amma is that one initiative in a century that's going to be transformative. I think if Amma is well executed, as has been the vision has been laid out, I think it has potential to be really transformative, for the continent. I'll give an example. Everybody, just last week, the Africa CDC hosted a summit on vaccine production on the continent. For you to be able to produce product on the continent and deliver it across the continent, you need harmonized standards. You need a single regulator potentially, so that it's easier to do business across the continent. So AMA can bring that, onto the table. Secondly, inspections. Everybody cries about, substandard, products coming on the continent. AMA can be that central coordinating group that can really advance the issue of providing oversight and sanctions on the bad players in and outside of the continent, and making sure that Africa's population, with its porous borders, etc., is really able to access quality medicines, and that the bad players are kept out. Now, for us to get there, it's going to take a lot of political will and commitment. We're waiting for the 15 countries to be ratified, to ratify the treaty before AMA begins to be established. But the African Union and others, AUDA, NEPAD and others have done a great job in pushing and advocating. His Excellency Michel Sidibe and others, now we are at 8 countries. So we have 7 to go, and we understand once we get to 12, then the commission in Addis will be able now to kick into motion the operational elements of setting up AMA. But it's going to take a lot of commitment, political commitment, to drive this. Resources to do that from the countries and partners. But more importantly, the work is not going to be done by somebody sitting somewhere in AMA. The work will be done by the countries. The experts will come from the countries. And so the countries and the regions are going to be critical. The assessors, the inspectors who are going to do the work will come from the countries and will come from the regions. So we need strong countries. We need strong regions to coordinate this with AMA for it to be successful. And so all these things are connected. Having strong agencies at the country level, having trust building at the regional level, these are going to be fundamental for AMA to be successful, in addition to the other things, political will and commitment, financing, etc., etc.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm positive. I think there's a lot of interest, and I think this is something that the continent must pull off.
Yeah. But don't you think that it might be better for AMA to be a disseminated agency, rather than a centralized agency? So decentralized, almost like, so it's, in other words, decentralized to the regions.
Mm-hmm.
And make the regions as strong as possible, make those regions, have harmonized standards. And then all that AMA then does, AMA is just really a coordinating, decentralized institution.
Yeah, it's a great point, and I think when you look at the AMA strategy and business plan, particularly on the assessment of that small group of products that AMA will start with, because AMA will not put its weight behind all the essential medicines that the continent needs, but only a very small group of products, advanced therapies, and priority products for priority conditions, HIV, TB, malaria, etc. And so for those, as I understand it, the plan is that the regions will actually coordinate. Like in Europe, where you have a rapporteur and co-rapporteur, for the
Mm.
centralized process,
Yeah.
for AMA, the regions will be the rapporteur and co-rapporteur. So a product
Okay.
has come through AMA, it's given to SADC and ECOWAS, are the two assessors. They choose within themselves how they do that, and they write a report that goes to, that then is discussed at the AMA level. So indeed, the regions are intended to coordinate the
Okay.
work of
Yeah.
AMA.
So yeah, I'm a little bit more comforted because I just didn't want to see another bureaucracy
Mhm,
being created, which is continent. Because I mean, the continent of Africa is so vast, isn't it?
mhm. Yeah.
Maybe lastly, I also see now that there is this. So there are two things that are moving, two wheels that are moving. There's the
Mhm,
AMA wheel, and then there's free trade area,
mhm,
right? And in a sense, there could be some relationship. We will actually have a webinar on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. But
mhm.
maybe just to end this, do you see any potential relationship, any complementarities there that could feed into each other and make both of them successful?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the coming into force of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area is also a game changer, and I think perfectly at the right time to enable AMA, because if there are still uh, tariff barriers between countries, that you just leave value behind, because at the end of the day, what you want to see is one Africa, potentially to a large extent. That's a huge market, and will be very attractive, because you want to attract good players to come onto the market, either to produce product here or to bring product here. And if you have a single market with less tariff barriers and other barriers,
Mm,
as goal of the continental free trade area is, then whether you're producing COVID vaccine in South Africa, or it is an ARV product in Kampala or Addis, it becomes much easier for those quality products to move across the continent. And I think the continental free trade area will enable that. And
okay.
but also the relationship with customs, if AMA, as we understand, is going to play into the issues around control, working with the regulators, I think all of these have to talk to each other and see. I see opportunities and potential in that partnership.
Well, yeah, all right. Well, thank you very much. You are certainly an optimistic person, and I like the way that you've also, maybe your optimism is infectious, because I now see things in a different light, and I think maybe AMA will not be a pipe dream like a lot of other African initiatives. Maybe it will in fact be a reality. And I mean, if it's a reality, then it's a great thing, for our people, right? So we will have access to better medicines, to better technologies.
Right.
Yeah, so I think with that, I would like to thank you, and I do hope that we can maybe in future host some other events along this, because I think it's a very important conversation to be having.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
pleasure. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best in your convening and the discussions with colleagues. Thank you very much for your time.